How I moved to Norway. Guys, you cannot imagine how many times I was asked this exact question to share my personal story and how I managed during pandemic, outside European Union, and still moved to Norway. And I'm going to share this story with you in this video. Changing countries is really becoming a new trend. More and more people all over the world start thinking or already changing their countries to understand. Will moving the countries change their life for the best? Will it make them happier? What do you think about it, guys? By the way, where are you from? Do you really want to move abroad, or you just considering this possibility for now? And if you want to move to Norway, why? What is your main reason to move to Norway? Please let me know in the comment section down below. I really want to know what sort of community we have here. Hi guys, I'm Anna and welcome to my channel. And no matter that I lived in 7 countries in the world, for now, I started documenting my relocation process from Norway, which in fact was the easiest country for me to move and blend in. But let me tell you the whole story and why it was so easy for me to move to this particular country. I mean to Norway, of course. It was 2020, during global pandemic, when the country's borders were already closed or the countries kept shutting their borders. At that time, I had my job as an international sales manager, and even from the name of my position, you can guess that traveling the world in order to see my customers wasn't an option. On top of that, since the beginning with that company, I always had home-based contract, so I never needed to be in the office every single day or every single week. And of course, during pandemic, the office was shut entirely. The rent in Norway was more than twice cheaper than in London. I also had some personal reason to move to Norway that time. And everything was happening before Brexit, so I didn't have any visa or work permit issues. So, long story short, I made the move. And from May 2020 to April 2022, I was living in Norway. To make this video even more useful, I want to break it down into different parts. Let's call it chapters. And chapter number 1, and visa situation. As everything was happening before Brexit, at that time I didn't need any work permit or work visa. My documents were absolutely fine just to move to Norway and live there. Eventually, I managed to get Norwegian residency or national identification number, which is the most important thing to have when you're moving to Norway. I did all my paperwork in Norway through the local agency. Yes, I paid a little bit of money, but I saved so much time and so much, let's call it nerves, for myself. So I highly recommend you guys to use and to seek for professional assistance when you're moving to any foreign country. Especially if you're moving to a country like Norway. Believe me, from my own experience, it will save you a lot of time and nerves. For example, I had to take several appointments in Oslo with different government organizations in order to get my national identity number. To come to Oslo, even from Kongsberg, you will need to dedicate a whole day for such trip, include in this price train tickets, your lunch, your dinner, possibly, your coffee. At the end of the day, it's gonna be quite a cost. And of course, the amount of paperwork was quite insane. And just one single mistake, it would cost me additional appointments and extra months of waiting. Yes, it costed me money, but it saved me a lot of time. I happily invested in myself. So every time you're hiring a professional, guys, remember, it is not an expense, it is an investment. Investment in your mental health and much brighter future. Let's talk about work in Norway, or chapter 2, work. On this channel, I filmed quite a few videos about different positions which are in high demand currently in Norway. I also explained which professions are paid the most in Norway and which professions are needed the most currently. But if you still feel like you have more questions regarding this subject, please feel free and drop me your question in the comment section down below. And while reading your comments, if I actually feel that we have a clear gap in this subject, I will be more than happy to film a video or several videos to cover all your major interests and requests. But in my case, I did not need a job in Norway. That time I was employed by a British company based in Kent, in England, and I had home-based contract. I moved to Norway and left my brother's address in the UK to HR department just not to have any issues with me moving abroad. Later on, I started having my additional income coming from my travel YouTube channel and also consulting people like me who wanted to move abroad but had no idea what to start with and how to do it successfully. They were scared, they had doubts, they had millions of questions and reservations that were stopping them for years. I hope I helped. So, my advice to you guys, you don't need to have a job in Norway to move to Norway. Just ask your current employer if they don't mind moving you to home-based contract. And your home base can be anywhere in the world. And second, start your side hustle to get some extra income. I promise you, every skill can be monetized online these days. And if you start making your income online and regularly, you can move to any country in the world you want. Well, I'm a clear example of it. Another very important matter, many people asked me how I got that house in Norway, how much it cost, and all these questions regarding accommodation or housing in Norway. So, our chapter number 3 and accommodation in Norway. As I already told you, my rent in Norway was much less than rent in London. Especially when you're moving from London to a city like Kongsberg, you literally cannot believe how cheap it is and how much more space you get for much less money. Yes, rent in London is really crazy. Always was and now even more. Guys, but please listen up. This is really important. Before I moved to Norway permanently, I visited different places around Norway and I knew that I didn't want to settle in Oslo. Moving to Norway for me was such an experience. An experience of living real Norwegian life, like having snow winter time or going hiking anytime I want, and as fewer people as possible around. Number 2, and I knew that I wouldn't be needing a job in Norway. And even if I needed, it was pandemic anyway. No one was going to the office. So I picked Kongsberg, which is about 1 hour drive to Oslo, about saying 1 hour by train, but it has an amazing community, lots of nature, lots of possibilities of outdoor activities, and that amazing house I was staying. All in all, it was the best value for money ever in my life. So guys, my advice regarding accommodation when you're planning to move to Norway. First of all, understand which location you're going to work if you're going to work in Norway. Ask yourself or your future employer if you can do your job remotely or you will need to be going to the office every single day. Keep this in mind, that your Norwegian landlord will ask for at least 3 months of security deposit upfront. In cities like Oslo, this security deposit can be up to 6 months. And don't forget, for the same amount of money you will be paying for a room in a shared apartment in Oslo, you can get something like 2 floors house somewhere in smaller city or town in Norway. Certainly outside the capital, Oslo. Keep this in mind and start searching for the right accommodation for you well in advance. The housing market in Norway, especially rental housing, is quite slow, and when something really interesting appears, it's usually gone in a few days. Another question I was asked a million times: how do you make friends in Norway? Is it even possible to make friends there? So let's put it in our chapter number 4 and friends or making friends in Norway. I've heard this so many times that it's not possible to make friends in Norway or anywhere else in Scandinavia. Guys, this is total BS. It's not true at all. Of course, if you're difficult, arrogant and always complaining type of personality, it will be difficult for you to make friends anywhere you go. But honestly, I never had any issue with making friends anywhere in the world, including Norway. Yes, Norwegians are more difficult to break the ice with. It takes a little bit longer to make real friendship in Norway, but it is more than possible. Until now, I have one of my best friends in life in Norway. Hello, my dear Johan and Frodo. If you're watching this now, you promised to come to Italy. I'm still waiting for you here, guys. Where are you? And this friendship with authentic Norwegians is about 7 or even 8 years already. And again, my advice to you guys who are planning to move to Norway. If you're planning to work in Norway, well, you're sorted. You'll meet a lot of work colleagues and believe me, they all will speak English. Just be nice, polite, humble, and it's just a matter of a few months before you become friends with them. But what if you're like me and not really planning to work in Norway? Just think. What are your hobbies? What are your favorite things to do? Write them down. It can be learning languages, especially Norwegian, in a group. Playing tennis, racing cars, hunting, reading books. Find those little interest clubs in your area and you will meet like-minded people in no time. And most probably, they will become your friends. Honestly, anywhere you go, just be open to the world and the world will open up to you. Next point, and another question I'm getting asked all the time, even from my community here on YouTube. If Norway is that perfect, why you left and are you planning to come back? Let's put it in our chapter number 5. Why did I leave if Norway is such an amazing country? Well, maybe I left to come back. I don't know yet. Definitely one of the best countries. I was lucky enough to live. Well, last year I just felt like to develop some of my professional skills and follow my plans. I needed to move back to London. London did really work that time, so now I moved to Paris. But last month I spent in Rome and next month I'm coming to Norway for a month or so. You see, typical digital nomad. And this is what I'm trying to tell you all the time in order not to be limited with only one country. If you want to successfully move to that country of your dream, or maybe you're like me and want to become a digital nomad and live in different countries for some time, guys, these days, this time of our life, everything starts with a side hustle and making regular income online. And being a little brave and courageous and maybe asking your boss if you can possibly work from home. The only thing that always matters, believe in yourself and follow your heart and your dreams. Trust me, if I could do it, you can do it too, even better. Thank you so much, guys, for being with me today. What do you think about my personal story? Is it a good example of successful relocation to a country like Norway? What was the key bits of this video you would apply for your life? Please let me know in the comments down below. I would be happy to see your opinion. And again, where are you from? What's your current position? Why and when you're planning to move to Norway? You know what to do. Comment section is still down below. Thank you so much for watching again. Enjoy the rest of your week and I hope I will see you in my next videos. Bye for now, guys. Bye.